Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Taylor and this is Totally British. Today in our program we have here with us three well-known specialists that focus in some way on the topic of the continuity of English as the dominant language in the 21st century. On my right I have Richard Grossner, who has been a lecturer of English at Oxford University for the last 20 years. He has also published various books, namely The Future of English and The Language Attitudes of Pupils Towards British English and American English. I also have John Pride, who is the current International Director of British Council and who has taught English in many foreign countries and has a vast experience in teaching English as a second language to foreigners. On my left I have Peter Lauenberg, who has dedicated his life to the investigation of the English language and whose recent publications include The Fall of the English Language, New Englishes and English Only. So now I'll give the floor to you, Richard. We'll share his ideas regarding the future of the English language in the 21st century.
Thank you, Mike. I'll just start by saying that according to my studies and researches on the topic, the English language will keep its dominant role in the 21st century. To support this argument, there are a number of reasons, as is the case of language's imperial story, its stature as a world language, and its role as a medium for political opposition. In other words, the English language is a global means of communication, the reason why it is also referred to as Global English. You may know that currently more than 1 billion people use English to communicate on a daily basis. Additionally, it is the official language of most international organizations, as is the case of the United States and the European Union. Furthermore, there has been, in the last 40 years, a substantial spread of the English due to its use, mainly to the internet and news media.
I'm afraid I don't share your opinion on the role of English in the 21st century. On the contrary, I have also researched this subject deeply, and there is a new language that is challenging English. That language is Mandarin. Are you aware of the number that speak Mandarin according to the most recent public figures? Well, I can tell you that around 1,500,000,000 Mandarin speakers and over 30 million are Mandarin learners. In what concerns communication, Mandarin is rapidly approaching the English language in what respects the number of web pages available. Did you know also that in far western countries Mandarin is the compulsory second language and not English? Few other western countries are following this trend, such as South Korea. These are only some of the aspects that should be taken into account.
Okay, Peter, now we've heard two quite different views of the evolution of the English language in the near future, as well as a new language which has come up as a fierce competitor, Mandarin. John, would you like to share your views on this?
Sorry, John, but before moving on, I would just like to add something which, in my view, also accounts for English maintaining and even reinforcing its position as a world language, which is its ideological function. We all know that English stands for modernity, and it is a symbol of material advance and efficiency. And additionally, the Mandarin language, once certainly developed as straightforward as you are describing, you have to admit that it's a very complex language with lots of symbols, and therefore it won't be easy for everyone to catch on to it.
Thank you, Richard, but now we are running out of time and we have to move on. We would also like to hear John's comments and experience on the subject concerned.
I've been hearing both Richard and Peter, and I have more views, each presenting arguments that have the objective of demonstrating which of the languages stand out and above all others. My view is much more consensual. Whilst English will carry on its role and importance as the worldwide languages, other languages, as is the case of Mandarin, stated by Peter, but not only, and the case of Spanish, start to develop and will rapidly approach English, for the reasons previously mentioned here. I don't want this to sound confusing, but Spanish, on the opposite side of the world, is playing the same role as Mandarin. In some Latin American countries, schools are required to teach Spanish instead of English. There are now around 10 million students learning this language. In this context, we can say that English is being challenged not only by one, but rather by two, both Mandarin and Spanish.
Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts and findings with us tonight. This subject has proved, as we've seen here, to be of a quite complex nature and is certainly at the forefront of worldwide discussion forums. I think that we will have to accept that at this moment in time it is not absolutely clear how the English language will develop further, and if and when other languages will overtake it. We will continue carefully monitoring this phenomenon and will be back again with you in the near future to inform you of further findings. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is Totally British, and we hope you found this program of interest.
Well, very nice conversation. Very good.
I've been hearing both Richard and Peter, and I have more views, each presenting arguments. Não comece já a escrever ainda, porque nada. I've been hearing both Richard and Peter.
Well, I can tell you that 1,500,000,000 are
that focus in some way on the topic of the
Sorry, John. Deixa eu falar mesmo. The 21st century. To support this argument, there are
Support this argument.
Estou a falar com ele, estou a
Topic of the continuity of English as a dominant language in the 21st century. On my right,